Well, vacationers have been very selective in where they go this year, causing a decline in revenue and attendance for some of the country's largest theme parks. Six Flags says its attendance declined 2%, partly due to fewer operators. Operating days, while Disney says its attendance remains stable, but income in its park division declined 6%. For more on all this, Clint Henderson joins us now. He is the managing editor at The Points Guy. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Clint.
Thanks for having me.
So much to get into here. I want to start with asking why there are fewer people showing up to theme parks.
So number one, I think it's price. Things have gotten really expensive, and you see it every year. They raise prices for the tickets, the hotels, the lightning lane, everything really adds up.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly driving it, but also like some of that pent up demand from the pandemic has been exhausted. And then the US dollar is so strong overseas that it makes more sense sometimes to go to Paris than it does to Disneyland, which is kind of wild.
That's very interesting. So what are some of the theme parks doing to try to attract vacationers?
So we're actually seeing some discounting now. Which we hadn't seen recently.
Okay.
So you're seeing like 30% off hotel packages. You can, if you buy 4 days, you can get some discounts on tickets, and you can get discounts on park jumping and things like that. So they are aware that this is an issue, and they're going to start discounting, I think, a little bit more to try to lure people back to the parks. And they're also investing. So Disney itself is spending some $60 billion on parks. This weekend they announced all these new rides, all these new adventures. So they are trying to bring the excitement back.
But Clint, you got to think with a big expansion plan, multi-million-dollar expansion, they're going to probably raise prices?
Yes, they will raise prices. And here's the interesting thing. You're not going to see cheaper prices for tickets and things like that, but you will see like these package deals. So really pay attention. Go to the Points Guy. We have tons of ways to save money on these parks. Time it right so you're going the right time of year so that you're saving money, because If you go at peak park times, then it's going to be more expensive. So there's lots of ways to save.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Breaking news from Capitol Hill. The House of Representatives has just passed a resolution to rein in President Trump's war powers against Iran. 4 Republicans
From the New York Times, I'm
breaking news from Capitol.
There's been a drop in revenue at Universal's theme parks here in the U.S.
Comcast held its second quarter earnings call today, and top leaders revealed parks are down nearly 11% in earnings.
West 2's Christina Watkins tells us why they aren't worried about it.
After a record-breaking year in 2023. Fewer guests visited Universal's theme parks during the second quarter, which ended June 30th.
2/3 of the decline was driven by our domestic parks due to lower attendance compared to last year, largely reflecting 2 factors: normalization in demand post-COVID, combined with the timing of our domestic attractions.
During an earnings call on Tuesday, Comcast executives said revenue dropped nearly 11% to just under $2 billion. That's below what analysts predicted. President Mike Cavanaugh explained what changed year to year.
The fact that we originally planned to have Epic opened this year, but with COVID pushed it back, and so have a lull in the action. We haven't started a new big attraction since Velocicoaster in 2021.
Top leaders at Comcast say they're not too worried about the drop in revenue because they believe Epic Universe will bring them right back up next year.
We couldn't be more excited about and confident in the long-term trajectory of the parks business, particularly as we look ahead to next year with Epic Universe, which is truly looking truly unbelievable.
Comcast executives say there's a lot of excitement building for Epic between new information coming out about the 5 worlds and the preview center at Universal City Walk, giving people a real view of the 700-acre park. Comcast believes when Epic opens, the company will rack up big time.
The trends that we are experiencing likely continue till we get to Epic opening up sometime next year.
In Orlando, Christina Watkins, WESH 2 News.
Analysts predicted Universal's theme parks to bring in $2.2 billion for the second quarter. Coming up all new at 5, we'll give you an up-close look at some of the new There's been a drop in revenue at Universal's theme parks here. All new at noon, Hurricanes Milton and Helene put up the company this morning. Afternoon, so Christina, and
Income at parks here in the United States went down 5% the last few months of 2024. A lot of that is because of Hurricane Helene, which made landfall in our state back in September, and then Hurricane Milton, which came straight through Central Florida a month later in October. That specific storm led Walt Disney World to close for a day. The company also canceled one sailing of the Disney Wish Cruise from Port Canaveral. So Disney says all of that, plus a drop in attendance, led to a financial impact of about about $120 million. Despite the shortfall, Disney executives said the first quarter is off to a strong start this fiscal year. The company's chief financial officer says they expect a 6 to 8% increase, even though they've got a little competition coming from the opening of Universal Epic Universe.
As we built our plans, we did anticipate some small impact. I think we have it effectively hedged in the guides that we've given to you. So overall level of confidence in the experiences guide is high.
You hear it there. Disney's international parks and experience saw a 28% jump in its operating income. Elsewhere in the company, the entertainment division went up 9% to more than $10 billion. Disney says a lot of that is thanks to ticket sales from Moana 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, also Inside Out 2. Nancy, back to you.
There's been a drop in
as you pointed out, it's more about the strategy than the second quarter results. But just a few, high points from the results. So remember, they are the largest broadband provider in the United States. They have about a 25% share of the market, broadband subscribers. And really, I think what investors are focused on, Paul, is that, this story is not getting any better. So over the past 4 years, we've seen intense competition in broadband capacity. And so just pricing, but that
offering up any kind of growth story for investors to get excited about?
And of their EBITDA, which is really Disney, if you will, because they are one of the few media companies that media assets have actually, they're actually being really played up. And if you look at Comcast, NBC, for instance, just the collection of assets, it's a stellar collection of assets, and it almost resembles a Disney, if you will, because they are one of the few media companies that actually has theme parks very similar to Disney, has studio, has a broadcast network, had some cable networks, and has Peacock, the streaming platform. And so the big argument here was, cable multiples have actually declined. They've halved, so they've gone from 10 times EBITDA just about 3-4 years ago to 5 times. Oof. And NBC, because it's being clubbed with Comcast, is suffering here. And so if you look at Disney, for instance, Disney trades at about 9-10 times. And so the question was, why are we punishing NBC for, cable sport performance? So I think investors definitely are happy about that because it now kind of shines NBC in this new light, and it definitely gives them some strategic optionality.